If you're a real estate flipper, stop being so stupid. Coming up.
Go to 8weekacademy.com to claim your free copy of Jerry Norton's most popular training. In it, he reveals his blueprint for making $100,000 per year with real estate.
Jerry Norton here. Listen up, flippers. There's something I need to get off my chest. And wholesalers, stick around. I've got something to say to you too. If you're buying distressed houses, making repairs, and then reselling to retail buyers, otherwise known as fix and flip, or you aspire to do so, then I want to reach through the screen and slap you. What are you doing? Many of you are overpaying and buying and flipping at such tight margins that make no sense whatsoever. And you are a ticking time bomb. You're a train wreck about to happen. Put nicely, you are not following sound business practices. Put bluntly, you're being stupid and you will eventually fail and go out of business and end up working at Dairy Queen. Honestly, in a normal real estate market, most of you would already be out of business and I wouldn't be doing this video. But we are in a very forgiving market and stupid flippers are surviving longer than they should or would otherwise under normal market conditions. I've been doing this business full-time for 18 years and I've been in the education space now for over 12 years and I understand the natural life cycle of flippers all too well. Here's how it normally goes. For every 10 new flippers that enter the industry, 9 fail miserably for one of 2 reasons. Since the flipper is new and inexperienced, he sometimes miscalculates the numbers, does a bad deal, loses money, and leaves the industry. Or what's more common is he is lazy and impatient to wait and work for a good deal, so he cuts his margins, overpays, which means he's failed before he's even started, and ends up losing money and leaves the industry. That means only 1 out of 10 get properly educated, they watch Jerry's YouTube channel, and either follow sound business practices, buy right, does a good deal, makes money, or he makes all the same mistakes and loses money, but rather than give up and go work at Dairy Queen, he learns from his mistakes, fails forward, and keeps going, eventually building a sustainable and profitable business. But since we're in a crazy appreciating market with double-digit year-over-year growth, and in some markets 20 to 30% growth, the stupid fly-by-night flippers who would normally be one and done are still in business because they are accidentally making money on bad deals. They buy wrong, they go over budget, but since 6 months has gone by, the house is worth $45,000 more, forgiving them for overpaying and for all of their bad business practices and rewarding them with profit. Then they go do another bad deal and do it again, accidentally making money. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've had a coming to Jesus moment today. And I realized that with the videos I make and the little bit of influence I have, that I've been way too easy on you. And so I want to be a little in your face on this video if you haven't noticed. The truth is you're acting like a child, a wayward child in need of some tough love. When I was a kid and misbehaved, my parents gave me a good spanking to get me back in line. Now, I know that was back in the 80s when kids didn't have rights and spanking your kid was just called tough love, not child abuse like today. And at the time, I hated getting spanked just like the next kid, but now I'm grateful because it made me tough. So that's what I'm gonna do, give you a good, hard virtual spanking. And like my dad used to say, this is gonna hurt me a lot more than you. And maybe you'll thank me someday, who knows? But here's the thing. Overpaying and doing bad deals works until it doesn't work. When the music stops, AKA the market corrects, and it will, you are going to lose and lose big. I'm seeing flippers buying at 80% and even 85%. What are you doing? Anything above 70% is shooting yourself in the foot. Look, if you want to gamble your family's financial future, go risk it all trading crypto. But this is real estate where you can follow specific time-tested principles that will most certainly give you a return on investment. Here's the bottom line. If you're flipping houses and not strictly following the 70% formula, when the market corrects, you will be left without a chair to sit on. If you're ignorant to the 70% formula, I'm going to teach it to you precisely and clearly so that my 9-year-old could understand. That way my conscience will be clear, so when you don't listen to me and I see you at Dairy Queen making chocolate sundaes, I won't feel so bad. And wholesalers, stay with me because you have the greatest opportunity of a lifetime wholesaling to these idiotic flippers. If they want to buy bad deals, you should get rich helping them. So stay to the end, I have a special message for you. Smart and intelligent flippers live and die by the 70% formula. And when the market is declining, it becomes the 65% formula. But since we're in a hot market, let's stick with 70%. The 70% formula is a third grade math equation, and consistently following the 70% formula on deals will ensure you build a sustainable, long-term business that will make you so much money you'll have to move to Puerto Rico to save millions in taxes. Here's how it works. The 70% formula means that the total cost to purchase and rehab a house is at a max of 70% of the fixed up retail value. Let's put some numbers to this so that you can understand better. Let's say that you're looking at a deal that has an after repair value, or ARV, of $350,000. That's the price a retail buyer will pay after it's fixed up. And let's say that to get $350,000, you would need to spend $45,000 fixing it up. The 70% formula means you would need to be all in with the purchase and repairs for 70% of $350,000, which is $245,000. And since the rehab cost is $45,000, you would need to buy it for no more than $200,000. The formula is really simple, which I'm eternally grateful for because I barely graduated high school. Here's the math formula that you live and die by. You take ARV times 70% less repairs equals buy price. So $350,000 times 70% minus $45,000 for repairs equals $200,000 as your buy price. That's it. To make $1 million a year in profit flipping houses, you need to figure out the ARV, figure out a repair budget, run the 70% formula, buy right, do it 12 to 15 times a year, and make $1 million a year in profit. That's it, end of story. Now that should be enough, but I know you're not convinced, so let's break it down further so it's crystal clear why you should follow the 70% formula when flipping houses. Let's look at the remaining 30% with a microscope. The reason why we want to be all in on a deal for 70% of ARV is because the remaining 30% is allocated for three very important things. Two are soft cost, and the other is the most important figure of the whole damn business, profit. Yeah, we're going to talk about profit. You're not doing this to help sellers, provide jobs, or improve neighborhoods. That's all fine and dandy, but you wouldn't be doing this if you weren't making a profit. So let's be real and let's make a profit, because you can't help anyone or have much of an impact on the world if you're poor and making ice cream cones at Dairy Queen. It takes money to build hospitals and churches, and God wants you to be rich so that you can do His work in a bigger way. When flipping houses, the reason why you want to be all in on the deal at 70% is because the remaining 30% covers three things. The first is closing cost. This includes all of the fees, including commissions to buy the deal and then resell it later. So of the 30%, we factor about 9% of ARV to cover those closing costs. The second thing allocated in the 30% is carrying cost. This is the cost to carry the capital to do the deal. It's the financing cost for the purchase and repairs. Of the 30%, we factor about 6% of ARV for carrying costs. So closing costs and carrying costs make up 15%. And the thing is, closing costs and carrying costs are fairly fixed expenses. There's not much wiggle room there. That means the remaining 15% of ARV is allocated to profit. So let's apply these percentages to our deal example. Remember, we have an ARV of $350,000. We bought the property for $200,000 and spent $45,000 on the rehab. That leaves a remaining 30% or $105,000 left. Of that 30% or $105,000, we budgeted 9% or $31,500 to cover all of the closing costs. We budgeted 6% or $21,000 to cover all of the carrying costs. And that leaves us with a balance of 15% or $52,500 for net profit on the deal. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, go back and watch that again. You can also reference another video I did where I break down the formula in detail. I'll put the link to that video in the description box below for you. Now, I'm glad you're still here, because here's the most important lesson on the 70% formula and the entire point of this video. The only variable in the entire equation is profit. Everything else is pretty much fixed. Closing costs are going to run around 9%. Carrying costs is going to be around 6%. The rehab is the rehab. The only figure that you can play with in the flipping equation is profit. That means if you flip using 80%, the 10% difference is coming from, guess where? Profit. Can you see that? That means instead of going into a deal to make a 15% profit, you're going into a deal to make a 5% profit. On our deal example, 5% on $350,000 is $17,500. That's it. You couldn't get me to touch a $350,000 fix and flip that only makes a $17,500 profit with a 10-foot pole. It's way too much time, energy, effort, capital, and risk, and most importantly, the opportunity cost. Instead of doing a deal that makes $17,500, I could be doing a deal that makes $52,500, or in my case, that makes over $1 million. And aside from 15% being a fair compensation for the risk, here's the real reason why you need to follow the 70% formula and have a 15% profit margin. What if the house doesn't sell for as much? What if it sells for $340,000 instead of $350,000? What if the rehab goes over budget and costs $60,000 instead of $45,000, which happens all the time? And what if it takes you longer to flip and your carrying cost is $26,000 instead of $21,000? That means instead of making $17,500, you would lose $12,500. Look, having a 15% profit margin builds in a buffer in the event everything doesn't go according to plan on the deal. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take the palm of your hand and insert it abruptly with force on your forehead and say, "Self, don't be a flipping moron. From now on, I'm only gonna do deals at 70% so that I can be a flipping genius like Jerry someday." Now, doing deals at 70% gives you enough cushion for handling the unforeseens. For example, following the 70% formula using the same scenario, if all the same things happened and it sold for $10,000 less and it went over budget $15,000 and your carrying costs were $5,000 more, then instead of making $52,500, you would only make $22,500. And while that sucks to go into a deal to make $52,500 and you only make $22,500, at least it was still a profit. So you're sad about it for like 5 minutes and then you go on to the next deal instead of losing $12,500 and going to work at Dairy Queen. Look, here's the business model I want you to adapt when it comes to flipping. Write this down. In the event I screw up the deal, I still make a profit. I want your worst case scenario to be that you don't make as much profit, not you lose thousands of dollars and have to go work at Dairy Queen. And that's why you should do deals at the 70% formula. Now, to help you stay on track, get my deal analyzer. It's the best there is. It has a built-in algorithm to help you stay on track and stick to the 70% formula. And I'll give it to you for free. Just go to mydealanalyzer.com. Or don't, I don't care. I warned you, and someone has to make ice cream cones at Dairy Queen. One final thought, and then I want to talk exclusively to wholesalers. When I talk about the 70% formula to new and even seasoned flippers, they proceed to tell me that it doesn't work and it's too hard to find deals at 70%. Well, yeah, it's hard. We're in a low inventory market. Of course it's hard. Let me ask you a question. What should a business do when it's struggling to find customers and make sales? Should it lower prices and cut profit margin? Or should it double down and do more marketing to find new customers? If you cut profit margins, you're just prolonging a slow and painful death. The right answer is you don't cut profit, you do more marketing. The same applies with flipping. Can't find deals? Don't cut margins and buy at 80 to 85%. Do more marketing instead. In today's market, I'm working 10 times harder and spending 10 times more on acquisitions to get deals at 70%, but my business is flourishing. If you can't find deals at 70%, my advice to you is stop being such a baby and stop being so lazy. Pay the price and put in the work. I'm convinced that if you do your part, all the stars will align, the universe will conspire, and God will smile down on you, and a home run deal will come around every month, and the deal of a lifetime will come around every 3 months. But only if you earn it by paying the price. All right, spanking is over. That wasn't so bad. But this next part is just for wholesalers. So flippers, please stop watching this video. I don't want you to listen to this next part. So please go on your way. Okay, listen up, wholesalers. More than likely, everything I just said went right over their heads because you and I both know that when it comes to acquisitions and spending money on marketing and making hundreds of offers to annoying sellers and doing all of the work to get good deals, most flippers just can't stomach it. They don't have the staying power, but you do. You're a wholesaler, so you have grit. So here's what I want to tell you. Right now, as of this recording, with these stupid flippers paying 80 to 85% for deals, you have the chance to absolutely crush it in this business. There is no reason why you can't make a killing right now. Everything I just said about the 70% formula, throw that out the window. That's only if you're gonna take down the deal and do it yourself, but since you're a wholesaler and your job is to find and source deals for cash buyers, you have a different formula. Here's what it is. I'm gonna write this down in case there's a flipper listing right now and he's on his way to Home Depot to blow his rehab budget. Here is your buy formula. That's it. Super simple. Forget everything else. So for example, let's say in your market, stupid flippers are buying at 80% of ARV, less repairs. And let's say you're looking at a deal and at 80% the number a stupid flipper would pay is $220,000. And let's say you want to make a $20,000 wholesale fee, and you should make that much for two reasons. One, you did the work to find the deal, and two, you deserve to make a big profit on anyone stupid enough to buy at 80%. So then you need to get the contract for $200,000. That's it, simple. So write this down. Now here's the thing, you're not here to judge anyone. If stupid flippers want to overpay and do bad deals and gamble their family's financial future, then you should help them and make bank in the meantime. And the good news is, as long as the market keeps appreciating, which it probably will for a bit longer, instead of one and done, these stupid flippers are going to keep coming back for more bad deals, which means more money for you. Honestly, there is no reason why you can't get rich right now until the market corrects and everyone has to go back to normal real estate. Oh, and since I also fix and flip and do deals remotely in any market in the US, I'm always looking for good deals, not bad deals. And I have a finder program where I'll pay you $10,000 for every deal you bring me that meets my criteria. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, watch this next video. It's a 45-minute training on how to become a finder for me and get those $10,000 checks. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel with almost 800 videos. This is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.